Hello again, I am Zarkoon. This is World of Warships Legends. On the screen here you see my build for Anton Gurin, level 11, and the commander I am using on the Tier 7 Russian destroyer Tashkent. Now I'm going to go over my build on Gurin here, explain why I am using him rather than the alternative Trubetskoy. And then I'm going to go over the stats of the ship because I think this ship deserves a look in pretty close detail. So starting off with inspirations on Gurin, I've got a level 11 William Sims to increase the HP count, and a level 9 Philip Vian to increase the incoming fire dispersion. Once I get enough promotion orders, I will bump Vian up. I think he is a pretty useful inspiration. Now, of course, not Trubetskoy, Gurin's base trait is Stabber to increase the destroyer's AP shell penetration. First row of skills here, we've got Quick Fix, increase module defense against HE damage. Steering gear and engine modules remain functional after sustaining critical damage. This is pretty important for this ship. You're probably going to get shot at a lot, and if any of those nasty HE shells take out your engine or your steering gears, you still want to be able to move and dodge incoming fire. So I would definitely go with this one. Next we have Flank Speed, which is one of the main arguments that Gurin has in favor of him over Trubetskoy. This increases the destroyer's maximum speed. Trubetskoy does not have a skill that increases the speed, and the speed on this destroyer is one of its strengths, so I want to buff that as much as possible. Third, we've got Glass Cannon. Improve your destroyer's main battery accuracy and precision while lowering the ship's maximum HP. So this increases the accuracy of the guns at the cost of a little bit of HP. That, of course, is offset somewhat by my Sims inspiration. I will say on Gurin, I believe one of his legendary skills increases the destroyer's maximum HP, so that is a viable route to go. Also, in this row of skills, Gurin has a skill that increases the range of the guns and increases the fire starting chance, which I think is actually the main argument for him, aside from Twist and Track, which is always a good skill to use on a destroyer. But I am choosing Gurin mainly for this last skill, Sidestep, which I think next to Twist and Track is probably one of the most valuable skills you could have on especially a gunboat destroyer like the Tashkent mainly is. So this increases the main battery range of the destroyer, as well as increases the incoming fire dispersion at the cost of increased rudder shift time. So Trubetskoy's skill that increases the range of the main guns does it by 4%, whereas this does it by 6%, and you can take the incoming fire dispersion buff and stack that on top of Vian as an inspiration. So that is basically this skill. Sidestep and Flank Speed are the two main arguments that I have in favor of Gurin over Trubetskoy. Finally, on Gurin, we have Rather Be Torching, which increases the fire chance and decreases the main gun's HE shell damage. Now, not Gurin. How many times am I going to do this? Trubetskoy's skill that increases the fire chance also decreases the destroyer's main gun HE shell damage, but by a lot more than this. It's like a ridiculous amount. I can't remember exactly what it is, but whenever I use that skill and I come up against enemy destroyers, I find that that skill hurts you a little bit in that department. So there's my build on Gurin. Let's take a look at my build on the ship itself. So here is the Tashkent, and in the first mod slot, I've got Aiming Systems Mod 1 to improve the accuracy of the main battery. On all the other ships in the line, I've been using main battery mod 2 to increase the main battery traverse speed, because the traverse speed on these Russian destroyers has, up until this point, been unbearably slow. Not the case on the Tashkent. It is much better, so I don't need this. Next mod, we've got Steering Gears mod 2 to make up for some of the rudder shift time increases that Gurren's skills bring with them. Also, I think you could use Propulsion mod on this destroyer. It might not be a bad way to go, but this, I think, is necessary to counteract some of the negative effects of Gurren's skills. We've got Concealment System mod 1. Now, on the Tashkent, just like the rest of the destroyers in the Russian line, the concealment is pretty crap at base value, and you're not going to get a whole lot by buffing it with this mod, but you're going to get a little bit, and every little bit helps. Plus, this mod comes with incoming fire dispersion, and that 5% stacks on top of the Vian inspiration and stacks on top of the sidestep skill, which is the main reason I chose it. Although Steering Gears mod would certainly also be extremely useful, so that's a good possibility too. Finally, in the fourth mod slot, I wish this thing came with one of those mods that increases the range of the main battery. It does not. Instead, it comes with Torpedo Launcher mod 3 and main battery mod 3. I've picked Torpedo Launcher mod 3 over main battery because, you see, the main battery mod does reduce the main battery reload time, but it slows down the main battery traverse speed as well, and I am not about that. I do not want slow main battery traverse speed on a destroyer. I've had enough of that, and I've dealt with it on the Minsk and the other Russian destroyers, and it's just not happening. Plus, this Torpedo mod 3, well, you'll see how that translates into the ship skills, or the ship stats, rather. It may surprise you. So let's take a look at those stats. Survivability, 22,100 hit points. You could get quite a bit more if you use Trubetskoy with a Sims inspiration and that Trubetskoy skill, which increases the hit points. So you could make sort of a tank build with Trubetskoy if you wanted to, but 22,000 is still a large amount of hit points for a destroyer, even at tier 7, so that's pretty good. Artillery. It's got 6 130mm guns. They fire at a range of 11.9 kilometers with Gurren's sidestep skill and the epic booster of battle propensity flag, which I recommend you always run on these Russian destroyers if you can. These guns reload in 5 seconds, which is pretty comparable to other destroyers at this tier, and they have a 180-degree turn time of 18.6 seconds, which is light years faster than the 30-second turn time found on the Minsk, so that is nice. HE shell damage, maximum HE shell damage, 1,767. Normally, it's a little bit more than that, but we've got that Gurren skill bringing that down by 7%. 9% chance to start fire with that Gurren skill. Base, it is 8%, which is decent. AP shell damage, 2,500 max. Torpedoes, it's got 9 533mm torpedoes, and with that torpedo reload mod, they reload in 58.7 seconds. So every single minute you could be spamming those torpedoes out in every direction. They do a maximum of 14,400 damage, which is not as much as other destroyers at this tier can do, but it's fine. And they have a torpedo detectability range of 1.1 kilometers, so they're reasonably stealthy. They go out to a range of 8 kilometers, much better than the 4 kilometers found on every single other Russian destroyer in this line, but they only travel at a speed of 55 knots, so they are incredibly slow. Of course, you can't have long-range fast torpedoes on this ship. It just wouldn't be fair, right? There's got to be a downside, and that is it. So you trade 4-kilometer range really fast torpedoes for 8-kilometer range really slow torpedoes. Maneuverability, 45.5 knots with my Gurren build. Turning circle radius of 730 meters, which is pretty wide, and a rudder shift time of 5.8 seconds, which could be much better than it is, but this 5.8 seconds is livable. I mean, I might try to reduce it by changing some stuff around as time goes on, but for now it is what it is. Finally, concealment, 6.5 kilometer detectability by sea, which is decidedly unstealthy, but you still have a little window of opportunity to stealth fire your torpedoes on this boat, and that is more than can be said for the rest of the Russian destroyer line, so there's that. And now that this is all out of the way, we will jump into some gameplay. I've got like 1.5 games for you. The first one is a pretty exciting, really short sort of game that demonstrates some of the strengths of the the Tashkent. Oh my gosh, the Tashkent in a short amount of time and in an exciting manner. And the other game is, I think, a pretty decent game in the ship that also shows off what it can do. So now that that is all out of the way, let's jump into that gameplay. So first battle here is on Shards. This is going to be a very short game, probably one of the shortest I've ever played. We've spawned to, I don't know, what is that, the southwest of the Charlie Cap. And since we spawned in front of the Charlie Cap, I feel like my job is to go secure that cap for my team. I've got, I think, what do I've got? I've got a cruiser and a battleship behind me. So I'm going to start moving forward and use the Tashkent's blisteringly fast speed to enter the Charlie Cap here and begin capping. And almost immediately we are going to run into some pretty determined resistance. We spot a battleship ahead and also a cruiser ahead. We've got a Nagato, a Bismarck, and a Fiji. And that Fiji is turning away. I am asking my teammates to concentrate their fire on him because he is, as a cruiser, obviously the biggest threat to me, and that British cruiser AP can absolutely tear through me. I am going to take a pot shot at him over the island, remain concealed, do hit him for 1100 damage, which is not much, but it's a little bit of chipping away at his HP, so, you know, if you can do it and not get spotted or get shot at, do it. And now we're opening fire on the Bismarck. We are spotted. I was hoping I would remain concealed behind this little dip in the island. Not so. Bismarck is firing back at us, but he misses. And we do light a fire on him, which I think he is promptly going to put out. And in fact, he did put it out. So, you know what that means? It's time to light another fire, and there it is. So he's going to burn for a healthy little while. Meanwhile, we are securing this capture point. There are only 12 seconds left. But remember that Fiji? Well, we're about to meet him again here. We've got the friendly York near us. Bismarck's secondaries nearly miss us. We secure the cap just as the Fiji appears, and this is a bit of an oh shit moment, so we pop some smoke. We do hit the Fiji with our AP, and now we're going to demonstrate the power of the Tashkent's AP. First salvo gets 2700 damage. Second salvo secures a Citadel for 4400. Third salvo, another Citadel. And we're going to get a fourth salvo here. Hopefully it will be another citadel, but we're already up to 30,000 damage in the course of a few seconds. We were absolutely able to shred that Fiji at that kind of range. Bismarck is looking like he might come around the corner here, so we're going to reverse ever so slightly and put our slow meandering fish into the water. Unfortunately, the Fiji takes out the friendly York, so we are in a bit of trouble. We've got a Bismarck closing in on our position, and that Fiji is still alive and still out there. But we really don't want to be around when the Bismarck comes around the corner here, so we are going to leave the cap now. We have secured it, and we kind of have nowhere to go because there is a Nagato around that corner, and now we are being detected either by the Bismarck's sonar or the Fiji's sonar. I have no idea which. Either way, the Fiji is over there in that smoke cloud. Torpedoes aren't quite back online, and unfortunately, we do run into the island. Fiji is there, hoping for a citadel that will take him out. Not that lucky. So we fire again, and that one gives us our citadel and takes him out, but not before he takes away about half of our hit points. There's the Bismarck. He fires at us and does minimal damage, but his secondaries are opening up, and they are scoring some hits, which is a concern. So we are going to have to hightail it out of here. Luckily, he's not aiming his main guns at us, so we take a couple more pot shots at him. But the Nagato is over here, and he is aiming at us with his main guns. They hit us for almost all of our health, so we quickly, very quickly, spam the torpedoes at the Nagato before he takes us out. All of the torpedoes hit the Nagato and take him out for a devastating strike. That is where the battle ends, but this one is obviously going to be a win for my team. So there's a nice demonstration of mostly the Tashkent's AP against close-range cruisers. It can shred them. So, there you go. Now, second battle. We are on Land of Fire, and it is a domination mode game. We are going to spawn in here pretty soon and start things. So, yeah, just waiting for the game to start here. Putting on the speed already. And soon the battle begins, and we are going to head out, try and do some spotting. We've got 2 enemy destroyers on the enemy team, 2 friendly destroyers, of which I am one. And we have 2 battleships behind us, Colorado and a Leon. Again, we have spawned near the Charlie Cap, so once again, I feel like it is my responsibility to attempt to take this cap for my team, and I am going to run into some resistance as I do this. Minsk speed, we're already up to full speed here, 45.5 knots, and we've got a Richelieu out there. Interesting, isn't it? How many Richelieus you see now, in spite of the Jean Bart being widely played. It's kind of nice to see them. I always like that ship, the Richelieu. Now, we are in torpedo range of him, but this little island is going to block us from shooting any torpedoes, and we are spotted by something. So, of course, the Tashkent's detectability is pretty poor, and it will probably be outspotted by most destroyers, and of course it is an Akatsuki who hits us with his guns. This is very strange to me. I have noticed a lot of Akatsuki captains lately using their guns to shoot at me in the Tashkent, so it's kind of nice to see that the Akatsuki captains realize that they do have guns, that the guns do hit pretty hard, and if you're facing an enemy destroyer, you should probably use them. We do have a fire burning on the Richelieu out there, and we are up to above 10,000 damage right now, so we're doing alright. That's about, what, half of our hit points, so, you know, we're contributing here. And the Richelieu cannot spot us because of the smoke screen, and possibly because of that little island between us and him. We are trying to light another fire, and you know, we could try switching to AP, but I don't think we would get a whole lot with him being angled like that. Although I think you can get some decent AP shell damage into battleship superstructures like this, even while they're angled slightly like he is. Still, HE is the best choice. That fire has gone out, and we would like to start another, but we have lost sight of these guys, so we are going to re-enter the cap. The Akatsuki is not in it anymore. He is, I suppose, sitting inside that smoke screen somewhere, but now that we have entered the cap, it is going to kind of bait him to show himself again. Meanwhile, we'll take some more shots at this Richelieu, try to start another fire. He can't see us thanks to the Akatsuki's smokescreen, or at least he couldn't see us before this point, but now, obviously, the Akatsuki has exited the smokescreen and re-entered the ring. He is firing at me again with his guns, but there I hit him pretty hard and start a fire. So that's nice. Would have been nice if I could have gotten a fire on the Richelieu, but you know. Anyway, we are sailing away from the Akatsuki. We are now landing pretty effective fire on him, just kind of whittling him down. He misses there with that shot, or we dodge it, depending on, you know, your point of view. And we briefly lose the Akatsuki before we reacquire him. He appears to have given up on trying to kill me. His engines are broken, and it looks like he's aiming his guns at the friendly battleship out there to the right of the screen. And he's, you know, he's probably launching those torpedoes, and that's kind of why he didn't pay attention to me. Knew he was going to die, so with his dying breath, he did launch a salvo of torps at that friendly battleship. I think it's a Gneisenau. Unfortunately, those torps are going to strike true and take out the friendly Gneisenau, which is going to be a little bit of a problem for me. Oh no, I guess they aren't going to take out the friendly Gneisenau. But he... Okay, I was wrong, but still I'm going to lose spot on these enemies here intermittently. Got an enemy Gneisenau there around that island. We, of course, are trying to light a fire on him because he's a German battleship, and German battleships burn nicely. But he looks like he's on track to come around the corner here, so we are going to launch our incredibly slow torpedoes in a nice, basically widespread, almost a single line, sort of stacked on top of each other, and hopefully they are going to hit. Now, somehow that friendly battleship is dead. I knew he was going to die because I was going to lose sight of that Gneisenau, and we do hit him there with a couple torpedoes, which do cause flooding, so that's good. The damage continues to increase. We're firing here at this Richelieu from behind cover, and the Gneisenau is coming around the corner. But thanks to our incredibly quick torpedo reload speed, we have torpedoes back online again. I don't think the Gneisenau is expecting this. As you can see, he is pretty much hot on our tail. He's probably a little salty about being hit by so many torpedoes from a Russian destroyer. Ha! Who would have ever thought? But we've got another salvo coming his way. We do notice the Baltimore out there. He might be a problem, but who knows? I mean, we're spotted now, so the Baltimore is going to shoot at us. Our second salvo of torpedoes hits the Gneisenau and takes him out. Unfortunately, we're still spotted, so it is time to use our second smoke screen here. And we are going to start firing at this Richelieu. We light a fire, we are still not concealed quite yet, and finally the smoke screen covers us, shielding us from fire from the Richelieu or the enemy Baltimore. Now, you're going to notice something about these torpedoes, and that is the slow speed really hurts. So I launched these torpedoes in as good of a line as I can. They are less than a couple kilometers away from this Richelieu. And you see there, we switch to AP momentarily and get a shot into his broadside for 4K, 3K, almost 4K again, so you can see just how nice this AP does against enemy battleships. The Richelieu is able to turn and completely avoid the torpedoes, which is unfortunate, although our fire is still whittling him down, and we do secure the Charlie Cap finally after beginning this battle almost 10 minutes ago. So, you know, I guess I was really dedicated to taking that cap. Do light a fire on the enemy Gneisenau, but our smokescreen is about to run out. Gneisenau puts out the fire, which is never a good idea if you're in a battleship and you've only got a single fire, because eventually somebody's going to get lucky and light another one. It isn't me, but it is whatever friendly cruiser or destroyer is also shooting at the Gneisenau. Now, the Baltimore spots us, and for whatever reason, he decides that it is a good idea to shoot AP at me. It is actually a bad idea for him to do this, but who am I to complain? Had he been shooting HE there, I might have died. Anyway, we've got torpedoes coming his way. I don't really expect them to hit. They're more of a distraction type thing. And we have dropped spot, so the Baltimore can no longer see us. We need to kind of get away from him, get around this island. The Baltimore does pop radar, which of course reveals our position. And he is going to shoot again with AP for some reason. One of those shells actually bounced off of my armor. So there's that. I guess the Tashkent has a little bit of armor. And we get clipped by the AP again. Not exactly nice. I think we might have actually bounced another shell there. I don't know if you can tell by the noise, but we are increasing the distance between us and the Baltimore. He is the last ship left alive on the enemy team, and he is not going to be around too much longer. This game was a pretty easy victory for us, but I think it shows off the capabilities of the Tashkent pretty well, and pretty decent game in this boat. So, you know, there is my look at the Tashkent for you. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give the video a like, and of course consider subscribing to my channel if you have not done that. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye.